What's going on, everybody? We are back with another question from Qbounti. And this question is from Olivier Enwal. I'm assuming that's a French name because I have never heard an Olivier in my life. But I like the name though. And it's a good question. They say, "Hi Niko, could it be possible come convention time that the DNC could decide to replace Joe Biden when the doctor diagnoses him with dementia?" Woo! So I don't know if he'll actually get diagnosed with it. So I should say, I guess you should change that to if, right? We should amend it to if the doctor decides to diagnose Joe Biden with dementia, do I believe come convention time could the DNC replace him? So there has to be the necessity of him actually being diagnosed. And I don't believe it's going to happen, unfortunately. That part, I don't believe that his diagnosis is going to come through in time for the convention because he's already actually undergone a physical. Every presidential candidate has to undergo a physical to make sure that they are fit to run the country in the free world, quote unquote. The issue though is that when Joe Biden went to go get his physical, according to reports, he had everything done except for a mental health evaluation. Now, could that be untrue? Possibly, but Hillary Clinton had been claimed to have a really good physical. And then, as we know, on September 11th of 2016, she literally passed out in a park. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe she was even sitting down when she passed out. And they claim it was because she had pneumonia. So I don't believe that the Democrats will do their due diligence in ensuring someone is physically capable to run the country. I mean, unless it's somebody they don't want to run the country. If you recall, they made a huge deal out of Bernie Sanders when he had to get the stent in his heart. But not only has Joe Biden had a stent, no, excuse me, it was Bloomberg had multiple stents put in his heart. Not a word from the DNC. Joe Biden has had aneurysms, brain aneurysms. Might be a little bit more complex and could probably have more of a greater effect on your ability to react the way you need to when you're the president of the United States of America. I think that you should probably be doing your due diligence across the board, not just in cases like in Bernie Sanders' case, where they don't want him to win, so therefore they question the legitimacy of his health. And he was perfectly fine and has been perfectly fine. So I think that's kind of like the only way the DNC, without an extreme event occurring, that's the only way the DNC could be put in a position where they're forced to actually switch people at the convention. Now, there is another possibility, and I'm actually leaning towards this one. They could come across somebody that they believe might be more electable. They could come across somebody that they believe can beat Donald Trump. They could come across somebody who is a political official in a major state that has the brand awareness, if you will, that Joe Biden has, but is younger, healthier, and could stick around for the entire 8 years, but also commands the respect of the establishment. That person is Andrew Cuomo, and it looks like that's exactly what the DNC wants. It was even a headline yesterday that said that Andrew Cuomo is like a gold mine for those who like Joe Biden but don't think that he's fit to be the president of the United States of America. So it's a real possibility. And it's the other question that this person asks is that is it possible come convention for them to switch them out? Well, I'm here to tell you it actually is possible. See, this is actually where Bernie Sanders staying in the race probably works to the advantage of somebody like Joe Biden. Joe Biden, I'm not sure if he wants to be president, but he at least wants to say he won, right? Everybody wants to say they won if you've entered the race. But while Bernie Sanders is still in the race, it puts Joe Biden under increased scrutiny, right? He's already trying to avoid debating. Said, we've had enough debates. No, we haven't. If anything, we should have had more debates, like weekly, in my humble opinion. We should have had debates very specific to particular policies. That would have been more interesting in my humble opinion, but that's not what we had. We had bi-weekly, or excuse me, monthly, or every 2 months, and then a couple of policy town halls. So, but he's been avoiding these debates, or he's trying to. He's been avoiding the media. And more specifically, he's been avoiding his only competitor now, which is Bernie Sanders. He doesn't want to do the things that presidents do, but he does want to win. But if Bernie Sanders is in the race, it makes it much more difficult for him to get plurality. If he does not get plurality at the convention, remember, superdelegates do come into play. And when the superdelegates come into play, they basically get to choose the nominee. Because it's the math, unfortunately, is working against Bernie at the moment. And unless he's going to speak out against election integrity issues, which it doesn't look like he will, we're hoping he will, though. We're hoping and praying and wishing that he will. But, got to be realistic. It doesn't look like he will. And if it doesn't look like he will speak out against those issues and recoup some of those delegates he lost, it'll be Biden who will end up with the plurality, but not the 1,991 delegates that it takes to seal it up in the first round. On the other hand, if Biden does get that 1,991 delegates that is required in the first round, he could choose to step down. The DNC could talk to him. The DNC would probably offer him protection, the kind that establishment Democrats get, like when Epstein's caught, we'll just pretend like it was all Donald Trump and that Bill Clinton didn't fly on his plane 20 times. Even to the degree where he thought it would be wise to get rid of the Secret Service because he didn't want them tracking his whereabouts. So they could offer that type of protection given this Tara Reade situation. And they could offer him protection against any of the other allegations that may come about. And if he doesn't take what they offer, they could then flip the script on him. And Obama wouldn't be there to save him, considering Obama told him from the beginning not to run. At a certain point, I do believe the Democrats, albeit bad at their job, they do want to beat Donald Trump. It isn't for us. It isn't even for the Democrats running on the ground. It's because they need access again. They want the access that they haven't had. They want to boast. They want to boast victories. You can only fundraise from the other side. You can only fundraise by claiming the other side is horrible for so long, right? Like this go around, the next 4 years, the whole Trump derangement syndrome situation is not going to work. Why? Because you're not running against Trump, no matter what happens in 2024. So if you manage to get one of yours into the general and then lose to Trump, it's not going to matter. And at that point, you're just going to go back into the Democrat versus Republican thing, and that wasn't doing a lot for you. If you recall, you tried that. Didn't work. Remember, y'all lost the House, and you lost, I think y'all, well, no, y'all lost the House. Oh, you lost the House and the Senate to Obama. All right, while Obama was in office, to the Republicans. So they're going to want to put up somebody who can, quote unquote, keep hope alive for the establishment. And Andrew Cuomo does give them that hope. In fact, hell, I think it was his brother, Chris Cuomo, who has now been diagnosed with coronavirus, actually asked his brother on TV whether or not he had presidential aspirations, but he said, no. Y'all, between you and I, Barack Obama said no every single time. Who was it? Joe Biden even. Joe Biden said no every single time. Those who are thinking about running for president and haven't made a decision yet, you know what they say? They say, Well, I'm focused on this particular issue first. Those who are thinking about running for president and have already made their decision, every decision they make after should be, and you know that every decision they make after should be scrutinized because they are planning on running. What they always say when they're asked if they're running for president is, no, absolutely not. No. That means they're running. You wouldn't be making yourself so public. You wouldn't be constantly fighting for attention on CNN and MSNBC. You wouldn't be going directly at Trump's face every single time he says something. You wouldn't be making everything you do a big deal. Wouldn't be getting covered so much in the media unless you were running for president, or at least some type of higher office. But when you're getting the type of media that Cuomo is getting, it's generally because you're running for president. When you just say no, you don't know what your plans are in three or 4 years. You don't know. You can literally just say, which is the correct answer anyway. I don't know. I'm focused on what I'm dealing with right now, today, as governor of New York. That's it. But generally speaking, he doesn't want to be scrutinized right now as if he is going to run for president. And that's why he is saying no. That's why most people who are in his position say no when they're asked. Same thing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden was protected from scrutiny for how long? For the last 3 years. Because he said, I'm not running for president. And everybody would say, well, Joe Biden's not running, so don't worry about him. Then he finally started running. Now he's under scrutiny. That's what no one wants to deal with if you're an establishment Democrat, because we've seen where it led. It leads to Donald Trump, who you can scrutinize too, but he can withstand the scrutiny apparently. So that is my take. Will the Democratic Party, or can they switch things up at the convention and select who they want to? Absolutely. There has to be like I said, there has to be certain events that happen. And then I think there also does have to be a willingness for Joe Biden to give up his nomination, but it's possible. He's looking like he's lazy as it is. It took him 6 days to produce his podcast, so it's quite possible. Maybe he just decides he doesn't want to deal with being president. Okay, but as far as a doctor diagnosing Joe Biden with dementia, I just don't anticipate that happening until at least after the convention, when it can be kept private, and it doesn't affect the Democrats in such a way that the Bernie Sanders wing, the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, they don't get to say, wow, I can't believe you were pushing this guy who has dementia over Bernie Sanders, who could have beat Trump, or even Tulsi Gabbard, who could have beat Trump, or Andrew Yang, who could have beaten Trump. All these people could have beaten Trump. Marianne Williamson, I believe, if given a fair race, she would be able to dismantle. Have you ever seen her interview with Dave Rubin? You would know really quickly Marianne Williamson can handle herself against Donald Trump. All of these people could have beaten Donald Trump if you'd have given their platform the correct opportunity. But you decided to prop up the Bidens and the Buttigieg. Surprise, surprise. You can't prop up racist white Republicans as Democrats to beat who you claim are racist white Republicans. They're better at it. Just saying. So, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed that Qbounti question. If you want to ask me a question on Qbounti and have a video done, a video response done, just go to Qbounti.com. You can find my face there. Just Qbounti.com/Niko, and you can ask a question, and maybe we'll get a video response for you. All right. Other than that, always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. If you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockman Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember,
find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.
Peace.